Your blast furnace hearth is lined with the strongest carbon bricks, as we all know, which gives the entire campaign life. But what if I told you that invisible water vapors, that is, not visible, any water increase, could be silently destroying them from within? In this video, we break down the powerful new study that shows how such water increase, either in form of steam, it react with carbon bricks and destroy its refractory non-sting property and saturation carbon, all this property lost. It form crack, weaken the iron brick bond, and leads to premature heart failure. So you, if you are in iron making field, I think this knowledge sharing on these topics is, I think it will enrich your workmanship. So let's coming to the following slides, which will share a how to protect our campaign life, cut repair cost, and other corrective measure. So let's dive into the um, topic, and here we will see that how water vapor react with carbon. So let's talk about a silent destroyer in our blast furnace, where this in hearth water vapor just contaminate with the carbon brick, and you cannot see it, but it sneak into hearth, react with your carbon brick and eats them away over time. So today we will show you exactly how it happens, and through this and what you can do about it. So in the following slide, we can show the experimental setup that exists in order to find out. So as this experimental setup, uh, researchers built a simple yet clever experimental setup. They stacked two carbon bricks just like a sandwich, two pieces, and in between these two carbon bricks, they added iron powder to simulate a similar iron pond situation of hearth of blast furnace. So you can say that two carbon brick, and in between, in middle, there is a iron powder. Then they heated it to 1500 degrees centigrade, just like blast furnace, just like real blast furnace condition. And they tried four gas conditions for this setup. So we can say first condition is a dry argon, as is shown in the slide. Second is 50% steam. Third is 100% steam, and one with no gas inside. So let's see what happens. in all four cases. So these all four cases analyzed, and in the subsequently it will be shared. So what's in the carbon brick? So these carbon bricks are basically mostly 84% carbon, additive like silica carbide is there, and around this is around 3 to 4, in between 3 to 3.5%, and a small amount of alumina too, to improve the strength and heat transfer. These extra ingredient make the brick stronger. This is what I have already talked, and better in handling heat. Silica carbide is one of the most important thing to look into. Silica carbide is a hero. Here it resists the oxidation process. We will come back to that in a later stage of our discussion. So, what did they observe? So, in a macro basis, we can say that in dry argon, the brick stayed mostly fine. There is no effect. But in 50% steam, it shrank by 6 mm and started cracking. In 100% steam, it got even worse. 8 mm shrinkage further increase, and these accompanied by a big crack, and which is visible surface erosion, with visible surface erosion also, and water vapor clearly speed up the destruction, which is visible when we are comparing 50% to 100%. So here we can conclude that water is really killer. What did they see inside? Then let us share the micro. So if in micro, under the microscope, things look nasty. So let us share all those things. They found uh, gaps between the brick and the iron, which is very important, up to 200 microns wide. These gaps are 200 microns wide, and little pieces of carbon and ceramic additives broke off. So this is a big issue occur. So you can say the interface where the iron meets the brick was no longer tight. It's become loose. So there we have a very easily penetration. It become weak. It become loose also, and thus it is dangerous. If we think from blast furnace point of view, blast furnace hearth point of view. So the role of water vapor is to look into. Here is the chemistry. Water vapor react with the carbon and forming CO and hydrogen. So CO and hydrogen, when carbon forms a CO and hydrogen, that is hydrogen is eaten away. So that means wherever it react, and when it react with the silica carbide, making silica, SiO2, CO and hydrogen. So this taking away this carbon monoxide actually is nothing but formation of a weak zone, holes and embrittlement. So, and that is the reason the structure gets weak. Now, molten iron pushes its way and carrying bits of brick with it. So, by doing this, that is how we lost our lining, our carbon lining. So, now let us see what is the role of iron powder, and we will also see why was iron powder used and for what was the purpose in detail. So, we can say that because it mimics real molten iron, we have already discussed in the beginning of presentation, it causes carbonization. So, pulling carbon out of the brick like sugar dissolving in tea. So, exactly this thing is happening uh, when this iron powder is incorporated in between carbon brick. This weakens the brick further because it's eating and set the stage for steam to do even more damage. So we can say this is how it catalyzes the further damage of carbon brick. Now here it is one of important thing why silica carbide is better than pure carbon. So if you see this teeny presence here, let's compare the silica carbide versus carbon in order to have a better understanding. So we can say that silica carbide form a protective shield of silica. So these form a protective shield of silica, and it form when it oxidizes, and we have oxidized the carbon as it is shown in just preceding slide. It just burn away. So silica carbide reacts slower. So silica carbide reacts slower and protect the structure. Hence, we can say that the silica carbide has got a beneficial effect than carbon. Carbon reacts fast and leaves it weak. So that's why the small amount of silica carbide is incorporated. So we can say that presence of such tiny silica carbide is valuable also to take care of harsh furnace conditions. So now let us also discuss the damage mechanism. So damage mechanism uh, understanding already we can summarize it here that how it comes together. So water leak into furnace from a cooler, our two air, our all these items, elements, all these components are carrying water. So it reaches any leak from it. This water reaches to the brick and forming gases, as we have already shown earlier. So these gases and create a ceramic waste, and thereafter crack and holes form as oxidation of this carbon, as we have already shown earlier. So more damage happens, and after that our the protective layers falls off and the cycle repeats, and once this repetition of cycle catalyzes, our erosion become faster. Carbon brick also destroyed faster, as we have already discussed while comparing silica carbide and carbon. So what are the key takeaways? So key takeaways for iron maker, we can summarize that uh, like then what we have learned from it. So first is the treat water vapor as a hidden enemy. So we cannot invite such type of incidents. Even we have seen that even 50% of steam can cause serious erosion in the blast furnace. So we can see that the cooler leakages, timely prevention of it, corrective measure are must. There is no delay. So once it's delay, it can oxidize our carbon and really it catalyzes it, take a start of the ill things. High quality silica carbide and rich carbon bricks are to also look into, so that silica carbide oxidation can hinder the fast process of oxidation of carbon. So we can, and of course it should be sealed and keep eye on moisture in top gases too. So all these primary important day-to-day operation, we have to be stringent, we have to be disciplined in monitoring all those. And as we have already seen that water vapor in Greece is to be really eradicate from such activity. And we can say that by doing this, definitely our campaign will extend, and carbon brick will be better preserved, and we can have got a low cost hot metal once we extend our uh, campaign.